So if anyone's curious as to what stage of the quarantine boredom I've reached, it's the part where I buzz all of my hair off. And I'm not even mad about it, but I probably will be wearing a beanie for the foreseeable future, so I don't get roasted. All right. So at the end of last year, there was a massive update to Adobe Premiere Pro that came out, and included in that is no question what I think is one of the greatest effect plugins of all time, and it's built directly into the software. However, I feel like every time I bring it up to someone, they never know what it is. I was never gonna make a tutorial on this because I assumed everyone knew how insanely powerful this tool was. This tool is called Auto-reframe, and if you create any videos in a wide format like this one and then need to get it onto a mobile social platform, this is going to change your life. So I'm guessing if you are a filmmaker or content creator in any way, shape, or form, there's a good chance a lot of the things you're filming start looking like this. It's a big, wide 16:9 rectangle. And 16:9 is great for platforms like YouTube. However, nowadays there's so many different platforms we're producing our work on. YouTube isn't always the final destination. Sometimes we might be wanting to share stuff on Instagram, and if we're going in feed on Instagram, we might want to go with more of a 4:5 aspect ratio. Maybe we're going to Instagram stories, maybe we're going to TikTok, in which case we're gonna actually want an even taller version of that. We're gonna want a 1080x1920, a 9:16 vertical frame. Now, historically, creating all of these different aspect ratios was very, very time consuming and just a pain in the ass, if I'm being honest. Well, luckily, we don't have to do that anymore because of this magical thing called Auto-reframe. So to give you guys a good example of Auto-reframe, how it works and how incredibly fast and simple it is to apply to your video projects, we're gonna take that little desk B-roll sequence I just showed you and format it for both an Instagram story or a TikTok, and as well as a 1:1 square aspect ratio. So we're gonna dive into Premiere Pro right now and take a look at what this sequence looks like. As you can see, we have a really simple workspace to start with. All we have is a few clips down here, some adjustment layers for color correction, and I just cut these clips to the beat. There's no fancy transitions or anything like that. So now we finished up this 16:9 edit, we're done with it, we've exported it, and it's time to create some new formats. So we're gonna start by taking this 16:9 edit and we're gonna reframe it to a vertical post for Instagram stories or TikTok. All we have to do is go up to our project bin, which houses our main sequence, right click on the sequence, and we're gonna select down here, Auto-reframe sequence. Now what this is gonna do is create a completely separate sequence inside of Premiere Pro. And with this new dialog box, we can select what our target aspect ratio is going to be. Now, like I said, we're gonna go for a vertical post on this one. So on this drop down, we're gonna click a vertical 9:16 aspect ratio. We're gonna leave our motion preset to default, and we're just gonna change our sequence name to Insta Story. And as soon as we click create, you're gonna see automatically we're gonna be thrown into a new sequence. This one is going to be vertical, and Premiere has already reframed it so that each clip is now scaled and modified to fit within these new parameters. The thing that is really awesome about Auto-reframe specifically is that it uses Adobe's AI technology Sensei to determine a point of focus on each clip and then makes adjustments to what it thinks should stay in frame. Now this works really, really well most of the time. Sometimes there are some issues that come into place, and let's see if we can find any of those in this edit. So if we're skimming through, you can see the candles in focus, that's perfect. We have some desktop elements here that are really good. The computer's in focus, the headphones, the pens are good. Everything, it pretty much nailed what I wanted to be in focus throughout the whole thing. But for instance, this shot right here of the dog. Now, if you remember the widescreen sequence, there are some books over on the side of the frame, and I would actually prefer for those to be in focus in this shot. So all I'm gonna do is have this clip selected. We're gonna go up to our effect control panel. You'll see that Premiere has already generated a few keyframes for us. Now I wanna go ahead and get rid of these keyframes and generate my own position. All I'm gonna do is drag this clip over and put the focus on the books. So now if we rewatch this, we go from the Red Bull can to the books are in focus now, and then we go to the keyboard. You can select each clip and reframe it yourself manually if you would like to, but I would say that Sensei did a really amazing job, and this auto reframe is pretty much perfect on its own. Now, this is a vertical version, but maybe I want to post this in feed on my Instagram or Twitter, in which case maybe I want a square version. If we go back to our main desk B-roll sequence in our project bin, we right click again. We'll do a new auto reframe sequence. We'll leave this one on 1. We'll just call this Insta, click create, and again, within a matter of seconds, it's like magic, the sequence is already generated. We can scrub through, see that again, Premiere has made its decisions on what it thinks should be in focus. It's framed everything up. It's scaled our adjustment layers, and now we have a sequence that is ready to be exported. And just like that, it's so ridiculously fast. In a matter of seconds, we were able to take a 16:9 aspect ratio video, format it vertically and as a square. And normally this would have taken, 20 minutes to copy all these clips, paste them into a new sequence, individually scale them all up and down, and Premiere does it literally like magic. When I was working in advertising, to think about the amount of hours this would have saved off my life makes me sick to my stomach, and it's so incredible that we have this tool now. Let me know down in the comments if you guys knew about this effect, and if you didn't know about this effect, if you're planning on using it. Like I said, I think I use it on a daily, if not daily, definitely weekly basis, and as soon as you find the way it works with your overall style and workflow, I have no doubt that it's going to make a massive, massive impact. Also, let me know down in the comments if there's any other things you guys want to learn in terms of workflow or techniques in Photoshop or Premiere, and I'll be sure to get to that in a new video. Oh, also like and subscribe. I'm trying to get better at this YouTube thing. I know I kind of have sucked at it. So like and subscribe down below, and I will see you guys in the next one.